Good evening, universe. Tonight I'm going to be talking about some juicy book news that just came out. Some of you have probably already heard, but there is going to be a crossover event between two book series. They're going to be put together by the authors and they're going to come together in a graphic novel duology, I think. The two series in question are Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard and School for Good and Evil by Soman Chainani. And I am a fan of both of these series, so when I first saw this announcement, my initial instinct was excitement. My second instinct was a little bit of confusion, and let me tell you why. A little bit of background on my experience with these series. I've read the first three School for Good and Evil books, so all three of the school year books, and then I have read every Red Queen book. So Red Queen, Glass Sword, King's Cage, War Storm, and Broken Throne. So I'm definitely more knowledgeable about the Red Queen series than I am about the School for Good and Evil, but I have experience with both of them. If you're not familiar with the School for Good and Evil, it probably has a violence and romance level about equal to the Percy Jackson series or other Rick Riordan novels. A little bit higher probably on the physical romantic side. There is a little bit of a bigger importance placed on like kisses and things like that, but I would still put it pretty firmly in middle grade, whereas Red Queen is much more on the Leigh Bardugo, Sabaa Tahir, Hunger Games level of violence and references to relationships and physicality. So I really wasn't sure how they're going to pull this off. And obviously I'm still not sure because it's not going to be out for a while. I believe it's open for pre-orders right now. You can get the physical copy or you can read it online for free when it comes out, which I think is really cool that they're doing this like free online thing for people to read. The possibility for a physical one, but for a cost. I think it was very clever to have it be a graphic novel instead. I'm not sure if this was the reason or if they just thought it would be fun to branch into a graphic novel and see what it was like, but their writing styles are extremely different. Like the voices that they use in these two books are extremely different. Red Queen definitely has a voice, it's first person present, so it's got a lot more of that intense YA dystopian kind of voice, whereas the School for Good and Evil is much more like classic fairy tale sort of voice. The worlds are completely different too. I find this less of a problem since it's going to be a crossover event, but I wasn't really sure, like, are they going to age up the content to make it match Red Queen, or are they going to age down the content to make it match School for Good and Evil? Because I do feel like they are on different like age ranges. Either way, I think it was very smart for them to go with a visual medium rather than a text-based one, because the writing styles are so different that I think making them mesh would be very difficult. And having them not mesh might be a cool thing, but I think it might come across as a little bit jarring if you go from Soman Chainani's writing style in this series versus Aveyard's style. I just don't think it would come off very smooth. So I am excited to see what they do with that. They did say that you don't have to have read all of the books in order to read it, which was my first question because, like I said, I've only read the first three School for Good and Evil books. They did say, however, that if you've read the first book of each series that you'll have more fun with it. So I'm really excited to see how they do character introductions and to see how canon or not canon it feels. It's very strange and different. I would love for more authors to do this. I think without having seen it, obviously I can't put in too much opinion, but I feel like I would love for more authors to do this. Just get like a fun crossover event. You know, like how in anime, sometimes they do that with the movies, where they'll have like Dragon Ball Z and One Piece, and it's like this crazy thing. I think that's fun to kind of discover how characters are going to be in a slightly different world and circumstance. than what they're used to. So I'm really excited to see how they're gonna do it, how the magic systems are going to mesh. I am excited for more of Maven, who is one of my all-time favorite characters. Yeah, so let me know if you heard about this news or you're a fan. Let me know what you guys think of how they're gonna make this mesh. I'm really excited to see what it is. I'll probably end up reading the online version just because I am desperately trying to save my money so I can move to a state that catches on fire less than the state that I live in right now, which is California. The good news about that is that I think almost every state meets that requirement. What do you think? What crossover events would you like to see? Like, it feels like it's fan fiction that's like almost canon because it comes from the writers who originally made it. So I guess that's why it feels so exciting to me. Although I don't know, again, it feels like they're gonna have to like age characters up or down, kind of like when Jack Sparrow is in Kingdom Hearts and they have to make that match the tone of the rest of Kingdom Hearts. So I'm really wondering how this is gonna go. It's called Red School, which I think makes sense, although I think School for Reds and Silvers would have also been pretty cool, although that may probably not where the story ends up going. Either way, I'm excited to see it. I wish more authors that I loved would do this. I think this is a great way to like cross-pollinate readers. So like if you're a fan of Red Queen and you read Red School and you're like, oh, I'm interested in Sophie and Agatha now I want to read the School for Good and Evil series, or the other way around, you know. I think that's very clever and fun, and I'm excited to see what they come up with. Thanks for listening to me ramble about this new piece of news. Let me know what rad crossovers you would like to see from completely different authors, and have a great night, universe.